Hi everybody, welcome back to City Suppers. I'm Tim Anderson. You may remember me from MasterChef, which I won 2 years ago. But today I'm going to show you some really simple, quick recipes, and this one in particular is something that's easy to do, but it's also easy to screw up, and I'm going to show you how to avoid that. It's steak with Bearnaise sauce. So, first we're going to make a Bearnaise. Now, a Bearnaise is a lovely sauce. It's a buttery emulsion with vinegar and shallots and tarragon. But as many of you know, if you've tried it before, it's very easy to ruin. It's very easy to split. It doesn't always come together properly, and it can be very, very stressful. Before we start emulsifying, we'll start with the base flavor, which is a shallot vinegar reduction. And if you want to try this at home, you can check the full list of ingredients in the description box. 1 shallot. So I'm going to chop this up nice and finely. This goes into a pan, a little pan, the littlest pan you have. To the shallots, we'll add a good amount of black pepper, a couple of tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and then a couple tablespoons of water just to cover the shallots. There you go. So we'll get that on a high heat, and we want it to reduce to very, very little liquid. We only want 1 or 2 tablespoons left over. While that's reducing, we're going to prep our tarragon. Lovely, lovely stuff, really aniseedy. We'll strip the leaves and we'll chop them up. We'll also take the stalks, which are tough and not pleasant, and break them up and put them in with the shallot vinegar. We'll bundle up our tarragon leaves and just run them through with a knife. The first trick in making this Bearnaise, and it's something that applies to all kinds of dishes, is how to separate an egg. Get a bowl, crack the egg, get rid of the shell, and just use your fingers. Let the white slip through it. Now this vinegar, tarragon, shallot thing is already smelling amazing. And we're going to finish off the base to our sauce. Now this is not a traditional ingredient in a Bearnaise, but I quite like it. A little bit of mustard, just a little bit. I think it matches with steak quite nicely and with the tarragon. We're just going to whisk that together, and we're going to set this over a pot of barely simmering water. And that's just to pasteurize the egg and start to get it warm. The vinegar is nicely reduced. We've only got a little bit of liquid left in there. The egg mixture with the mustard is thickened up really nicely. Everything will keep warm. We're having the egg mixture sat over this hot water. Just let this cool slightly, otherwise it will cook the egg. Is just strain it in. Give it a whisk. Now comes the fun part, the emulsification. Now, start with cold butter. So we're going to do about 75 grams. And we're going to cut this into little chunks, little cubes, basically. And what we'll do is we'll add these 2 at a time, cold, to the warm mixture. And they'll melt at a similar rate at which you would drizzle them. So you're introducing the fat from the butter in the same way, basically. It's just so simple. Look at how beautifully that's emulsifying already. So just keep adding the butter 2 at a time, waiting for the other ones to melt. And you know it's working if it starts to thicken up. Now you can stop here if you want your Bearnaise to be a sort of pourable consistency, but keep going if you want it to be thicker and more spoonable. Beautiful. It's all coming together. Now then, the tarragon goes in at the very end. And we will season it as well. A little bit of salt. So that's done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Set that aside, and now we'll focus on the main attraction, the steak. We need a big pan that's got a heavy base that'll distribute heat evenly and hold that heat in. We're going to get a little bit of oil in there. I'm using olive oil. So while that's heating up, we'll season our steak. Black pepper and sea salt, or rock salt. Lots of it. Lots of it, be generous. And a little bit more olive oil on the steak itself. If you like the looks of this video and you want to see more, just click the subscribe button. Our pan is now very, very hot. You can see it's starting to smoke. The oil is very shimmery. So, first what we'll do, we've got this strip of fat along the edge of the sirloin, and this is a sirloin only thing. We're going to put that on there first for 2 reasons. One, we want to render off some of that fat to sort of lubricate and flavor the rest of the meat. So we'll leave it sitting there on that fat for just about a minute. So once that's nice and brown, like that, and you can start cooking properly. Now, here's where things get very, very stressful, but not really, don't worry. Just remember to turn frequently. You want to leave it sitting there for a little while, I'd say about 30 seconds to get a nice dark crust. But by turning frequently, you'll make the heat redistribute. So instead of getting a well-done bit along the edge and then underdone throughout, you'll get a more even cook. Ooh, yeah. Getting nice and brown already. All right, now I am going to start testing this already. This is cooking really, really quickly. Now I reckon this is done. This is done for me. Okay. So, the next key thing to remember is to let it rest. While that's resting, there's just one last garnish to do. Because obviously we want to have a balanced, healthy meal. We're going to have, with all of our butter and beef, we're going to have a little salad. This is just some simple watercress here, that's it. Nice peppery kick to go with all the richer flavors here. A little bit of olive oil, splash of vinegar. Toss it together. And there you have it. Now it's a healthy dinner. The steak has had a nice rest, and now comes the moment of truth. Let's see how I did. Yeah, nice. Still beautifully pink, but cooked through. I'd say that's probably more of a medium than a medium rare, but hey, still nice and juicy. Yeah, this is just about perfect, actually. I'm quite happy with this steak. Maybe I'll even eat it. For a fancy steak, a fancy plate. Scoop it all up. Have our healthy salad off to one side. And I joke about the salad, but I do really like the pepperiness of the watercress. You can use rocket as well. And finally, our Bearnaise, which is still lovely and warm because it's been sitting over that warm water. Still beautifully emulsified. There's not a drop of fat coming out of there. Now, I'm going to use a gravy boat because there's one here. Doesn't matter if you don't have one. Put it in a ramekin or just drizzle it right over the steak. There we go. Perfect steak with foolproof Bearnaise sauce. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the City Supper series, and we'd love to get your feedback. Enjoy.